All right, let's jump right into this explainer. Today, we're unpacking a seriously fascinating story from the Web3 world. We're talking about how a massive crypto exchange basically looked the blockchain purists, said no thanks, and built one of the most widely used networks on the planet. Whether you've been in DeFi for years or you're just kind of wondering how these massive digital economies actually scale up, this is an absolutely perfect case study in product strategy. I mean, really think about it. The whole original ethos of crypto was built around total decentralization, right? Removing the middleman completely. Yet, somehow, a highly centralized trading platform managed to capture a massive slice of the DeFi boom. So how on earth did they end up with more daily active users than Ethereum, the actual pioneer of smart contracts? Well, it all boils down to this crucial reality of consumer behavior. Available beats perfect. Flashback to 2021, Ethereum was so congested that a basic, simple transaction could run you $50 or more. Users had to make a hard choice. And you guessed it, they overwhelmingly chose cheap, fast, and available over something elegant but maximally decentralized. So let's start with Section 1, the birth of BNB and its journey from a simple discount token to a full-blown smart chain. Looking at the timeline, you can see how insanely fast Binance pivoted to catch the market. Back in 2017, BNB was literally just an ERC20 token sitting on Ethereum, mainly used to score a discount on Binance trading fees. Fast forward to 2019, they launched Binance Chain, but it had a catch: no EVM, or Ethereum virtual machine compatibility. Basically, devs couldn't run Ethereum smart contracts on it, so it was kind of a ghost town for decentralized apps. But then, the masterstroke. September 2020, right in the heat of DeFi summer, they pivot hard. They forked Ethereum's code to create the fully EVM-compatible Binance Smart Chain, eventually merging the whole setup into the BNB chain we use today. And here is where we see that distribution can absolutely crush raw technology. You see, Ethereum had to grind year after year to earn every single one of its users. Binance Smart Chain? They launched with instant liquidity. The exchange already had millions of active users. They practically just flipped a switch, and boom, all those users were instantly onboarded into a brand new ecosystem. Just a massive built-in moat. Moving on to Section 2, how the tech actually works and the literal cost of speed. To really get BNB, you've got to wrap your head around PoSA, or Proof of Staked Authority. Unlike setups where literally anyone with a decent laptop can spin up a node and participate, PoSA is highly consolidated. It relies on a permissionless, sure, but super capital-intensive system of just 21 active validators. It's a mechanism that firmly prioritizes absolute 100% uptime and blazing speed over having a massive, sprawling global network. So how does that play out day to day? Users stake their BNB, and the top 21 entities with the biggest stake are elected to run the show for the next 24 hours. And because there's only 21 of them, they don't have to constantly communicate with thousands of other nodes across the globe just to agree on the network state. They literally just take turns, churning out incredibly fast 3-second blocks. And this creates a really stark philosophical trade-off. Ethereum, with its 12-minute finality and massive global node count, feels like a massive, slow, highly secure bank vault. It is built for absolute bulletproof settlement. BNB Chain, with finality hitting at about 45 seconds, it feels as snappy and responsive as an everyday Web 2 app. It's purpose-built for the user experience. And the reality of that trade-off is kind of staggering when you see the numbers side by side. You've got just 21 active entities securing BNB at any given second, going up against over 1 million validators securing Ethereum. It's just a completely different ballgame. Now, that concentration delivers seriously impressive performance, but it is not cheap to run. By cranking the gas limit all the way up to 140 million, compared to Ethereum's 30 million, BSC was able to offer 10-cent fees instead of $50 fees. But there's a catch. Processing blocks that big, that fast, you can't do that on a regular laptop. You need heavy, expensive $2,000 servers just to keep up with the chain. All right. Section 3, the apps that actually brought the users in. Forks, games, and 10-cent gas. Back when Ethereum gas fees were skyrocketing to $80 during DeFi summer, this one single number right here, a 10-cent transaction fee, was basically an unstoppable magnet for retail users. Everyday people who were entirely priced out of playing on Ethereum suddenly had a playground they could actually afford to use. And because it was EVM compatible, developers literally just copy-pasted the heavy hitters from Ethereum. PancakeSwap, that was a direct fork of Uniswap, just with lotteries added and a fraction of the cost to trade. Venus copied Aave. Plus, GameFi apps like StepIn, which need hundreds of tiny microtransactions to function, could really only survive in a low-fee environment like this. Add in Binance's direct on-ramp where you could withdraw straight to the chain for like 50 cents, and BNB quickly became the undisputed home for gaming, cheap DeFi, and even cross-border remittances. But we have to look at the other side of the coin. Section 4, Centralization and Real Risks. The dark side of 10-cent fees. So, out of those 21 active validators, there is a massive, glaring centralization risk. Just the top 5 validators alone control over 40% of the total delegated stake. That means the real power here is highly concentrated among a very small group. And, many of them have historical ties to Binance or major infrastructure players. And that concentration leads to very real-world consequences. Take October 2022, for example. A hacker exploited a bug to mint 2 million BNB literally out of thin air. What happened? Those 21 validators just hopped on a call, coordinated, and halted the entire blockchain for 8 hours to stop the $570 million drain. No voting period, just boom, paused. Beyond hacks, these massive blocks create severe state bloat. The ledger is over 2 terabytes now, which forces users to rely on public servers rather than running their own nodes. Oh, and validators actively extract value through sandwich attacks? And those ultra-cheap fees? Yeah, they unfortunately meant scammers could deploy $2 rug pulls all day long. Which brings us to the ultimate double-edged sword of this whole architecture. If validators can halt the chain for a hack, well, they can absolutely halt it for regulators. The coordination that saved $570 million also proved undeniably that the chain can be censored or paused by authorities. It is a massive departure from the unstoppable, pure censorship-resistant vision of those early blockchain pioneers. Okay, finally, Section 5, the multi-chain future. Looking at BNB, Greenfield, and beyond. Now, BNB isn't just standing still. They are actively building out a massive, multi-layered ecosystem to fix some of these issues. To handle the insane demands of high-speed gaming, they launched BNB, an optimistic layer 2 rollup. They also rolled out BNB Greenfield, which is a decentralized storage layer for things like NFT metadata and AI data. They're doing application sidechains so specific games get their own dedicated block space. And crucially, to tackle that centralization issue, they've set a goal to expand their active validator set from just 21 up to 100 or more. Just look at this fee progression. This is exactly why the BNB ecosystem remains so fiercely competitive today. They're pushing transaction costs down from an already super low 60 cents for a layer 1 cross-border payment all the way down to a literal thousandth of a penny on BNB. It's completely purpose-built for the massive scale of mainstream consumer apps. So if there's one key takeaway from this whole explainer, it's that BNB Chain is not trying to be Ethereum. It's never going to have that ironclad, slow bank vault level of decentralization, and frankly, it's not pretending to. Instead, it's aiming to be just decentralized enough to securely and affordably serve millions of everyday retail users who really just want their apps to work quickly and cheaply. I'm going to leave you with this thought to ponder today. When we look at the billions of global users who are still waiting to enter Web3, which philosophy is actually going to shape the future of finance? Is the purest vision of perfect, expensive decentralization going to win out? Or will cheap, fast, and available conquer the market every single time? Thanks for diving into this explainer with me, and as always, keep questioning the systems that power our digital world.